The Lonely Ayil by Rochell Weisfogel. Okay, here we go. There once was a farmer by the name of Farmer Moshe who had an ayil. Do you know what an ayil is? Yes, it is the Hebrew word for ram. This ram or ayil was fenced up all day with no one to talk to or play with. Every day, Farmer Moshe would come carrying 2 buckets. One bucket was filled with water, and one was filled with food. He would unlock the gate and put the buckets inside the fence, and then lock the gate again. Every day, the ayil waited patiently for his food and water, but he was very sad. He wished he could be helpful to someone or do something more than just sit behind the fence. One day, it happened. Farmer Moshe was carrying the buckets of food and water to the ayil, as he always did. He unlocked the gate and turned around. He saw that his neighbor's house, high on the hill, was burning. Fire was coming out of the windows. Farmer Moshe dropped his buckets and ran to help his neighbor. What did he forget to do? You're right. He forgot to lock the gate. The ayil saw that Farmer Moshe was very busy putting out the fire and getting everyone safely out of the burning house. The ayil knew this was his lucky day. He ran out of the open gate and over the hills in the opposite direction, so the farmer could not find him. This, however, is not the end of the story. We must now find out what happened to the ayil. On the other side of the mountain was a city. In the center of the city was a shul. The rabbi stood on the steps of the shul, calling the people of the city together. He was very worried. He had a big problem and needed everyone's help. The rabbi said, "Please listen, everyone. Do you remember what happened right after Rosh Hashanah last year? Yes, the shofar fell off the shulchan and broke. A new shofar is very expensive, and we have no money to buy one. What shall we do?" All the people put their hands in their pockets to see if they had money to give the rabbi. Mostly they found coins, but not enough to buy another shofar. Suddenly, the crowd saw the ayil poke his face around the corner of the shul. He wanted to see what was going on and why all the people were gathered there. The rabbi stood on the steps of the shul in shock. The people looked at the ayil and raised their voices together, saying, "Hashem has answered our prayers." The people went over to the ayil and softly petted him. They asked him if he could help them for Rosh Hashanah by giving them his horns. The ayil was so happy that he could help someone. He had always hoped and prayed for this moment when he lived behind Farmer Moshe's fence. The people cut off his horns and drilled a hole in the middle of each one, sanded them down, and polished them. The rabbi and the other people were very happy at Rosh Hashanah that year with their 2 new shofarot. If they had trouble blowing one, they blew the other one. You are probably wondering what happened to the ayil. He did not suffer any pain, And he had a whole new look for the Jewish New Year. The Ayil had a very happy and sweet New Year and wishes you the same. And see, there's a glossary for those who need it. An Ayil is a ram, Hashem is God, shofar is a ram's horn, shofarot is the plural for ram's horn, shul is a synagogue, and a shulchan is the table used for prayer in the synagogue. The end.